Hey guys, today I'm going to be showing this beautiful client makeover on the stunning SabrinaXMakeup. If you guys aren't following her, everything will be listed down below, so make sure you guys check her out. And if you guys want to learn how to get this look, make sure you guys stay tuned. So I always start off with a skin prep for all my clients. So what I'm doing right now is I'm using some sort of pads. It's called the Magic Pad. This pretty much has a little bit of acid in it, so it's going to help with smoothing out the skin and really softening the skin as well. Next up, we're going to go to moisturize. We're using the Dr. Jart Tiger Grass Cream. Beautiful for anyone that has redness and anyone that's a little bit more on the dry side, because it is a little bit of a thicker formula. But here we really massage it into the skin that we can get a nice plump and rosy glow as well. And then I like to go in with the brows. So I'm going to go in with the Urban Decay Brow Endowed product. It's like a primer and color product in one. So I'm using the primer to help with making all the hairs go up straight, and also because her brows are a little darker, I wanted to make her brows a little lighter. We're going to use the color Taupe after, and we're just going to layer this on top. Next up, I'm going to add some hair-like strokes. I'm using the Anastasia DipBrow Gel in medium brown. We're also using the Anastasia 7V brush, and you can see I'm just starting to create a little bit of a hair-like strokes on the bottom and also around the top of the brow as well, just to give it a little bit more definition. My favorite part in doing the brows is this concealing part. It really makes the brow 3D and really clean and even. So if you have uneven brows, try this technique out. It will really help with making your brows a lot more even, and also really making it nice and sharp as well, which I prefer that look. For today's primer, we're using the trusted Plouise Base, which is number 2. I love this stuff, and all you have to do is just pat it in to activate it and then go right in with your colors. Today we are going to go for more of a colorful look because it's kind of my signature thing, I guess, and that's what I wanted to kind of try on Sabrina today. So what I'm doing is I'm going to go in a few seconds with the James Charles palette from Morphe Brushes. I am obsessed with this palette, guys. It's honestly one of the best affordable palettes I have tried in a while, and I definitely recommend it. So first color, we're going to go in with Boutique, and we're going to go ahead and map out the cut crease where we want it. I like to kind of start off with the second darkest tone here, then I'm going to go in with the darker tone to really intensify it and then lighten it and blend up the edges. And I'll tell you guys all the colors I'm using. I'm also going in with the Morphe 433 brush. I know I'm not the best at speaking about brushes, but that's the brush I'm using. I find it's really beautiful to pack on product and also blend at the same time. So every time I usually do clients, I have several on me, and I definitely recommend this brush. Best part is that it's only like $9. So what are you doing? Go get it right now. Alright, next up we're going to go in with the color Benny, and we're just going to intensify the same areas just a little bit lower, and I'm trying to keep it a little bit more concentrated. If you take a look at the angle of my actual brush, I am actually just using the tip of it just to kind of get the placement exactly where I want, and then later on I'm going to go ahead and use another brush to really blend out the edges. The reason why you want to do this is because you don't want to make your look muddy, and sometimes when you use darker tones it can get muddy really quickly. So work with a smaller brush and really make sure you place it and blend it with another brush. The next color we're going to go on with is You're Kidding, which is honestly, guys, one of the best true reds I've actually tried. A lot of time when palettes have red, they either turn orange or they turn to pink on the skin, and as you can tell, this is definitely a true red. So you did a great job formulating the colors. I'm also using the same Morphe 433 brush to really just buff in those edges, and I'm going right above that product. Next up, just to get that perfect gradient, we're going to go in with that color 518, which is that bright orange right on the top, and we're going to use that color to buff out the red. And I do like to kind of drag it out a little bit more just because I find that the eye looks a little bit bigger like that. So if you haven't tried this type of style, try bringing it up really high up, and if you do bring it too high up where you don't like it, what I'm doing right now is I'm just using a clean concealer brush and I'm just kind of re-identifying the brow area so it doesn't look too high up. Alright, cut crease time, guys. I'm going to first go ahead and take off any excess space that I don't want, and I'm using the Scentsy Eyes from Makeup Forever to do that. It just makes the look a lot less muddy. If you ever try to cut crease with a tone that's already, there's a lot of shadow, it mixes in with the concealer and makes it look different, and I wanted this to look really bright. For the actual cut crease, we're using the Plouise Base in number 2 again, and as you can kind of tell, I'm almost like swiping it so I can get that perfect edge. Especially if the person's talking, you want to make sure you can anchor your hand somewhere. The worst is when you're trying to get that perfect detail and then all of a sudden your hand slips and you mess up your cut crease, right? So try this out. Try to anchor your hand. So to set that cut crease area, we're going to use the color Canvas and Flashback, which is a white and a creamy tone. I didn't want a pure white, but I really wanted a really nice, bright, even tone in the inner corner. Next up, we're going to use the color Daddy, and I love this name. It's so cute. It's like a deep green, and we're going to go ahead and use this to blur out the darker purple tone and the inner corner with the white. How you want to get this perfect gradient is like barely touching the skin when you're about to blend it. It will give you a softer blend that we don't use multiple tones. So I've already done the eyeliner. I'm going to go right on top of that and create a thin glitter line with the Urban Decay glitter in Starfire. For the eyeliner, we also use the Makeup Forever ink liner. I'm going to do a separate video on exactly how I do my eyeliner, so stay tuned for that. Alright guys, for the face, we're going to start off with the Cover FX Gripping Primer. This stuff is amazing. If you want your skin to look snatched, tight, smooth, and firm, then you're going to go ahead and try this primer out. I like to go and massage it into the skin. I'm going to be using a brush for hygienic purposes, but you can also use your finger to really make sure the product is gliding on perfectly. For today's foundation, we're using the Makeup Forever HD stick. Sabrina is more on the dry side, so I opted in for this beautiful foundation. It actually has something called time-lapse hydration in it, so if you're dry, this will make sure throughout the day that it's releasing enough moisture where your skin won't look cracked or dry. And I'm going to go ahead and blend out any of the harsh edges with the Beauty Blender that is slightly damp. So we both agreed that we wanted to make her look super bronzy. So here we're using the cream contour, which is the Fenty concealer in 420. I find this is a really nice even tone, and what we're going to do is kind of just map out the areas we want to go ahead and bronze up, and then I'm going to use a beauty blender just to blend out the edges. So it's clearly there's still a lot of blending, and I like to re-highlight the skin after because otherwise it'll look a little muddy. So I'm using the Too Faced Super Coverage Concealer. First we're going to go in with the color Natural Beige, and then we're going to brighten with the tone Vanilla as well from the same line. So I'm just going over all the areas that we contoured, and we're just re-identifying all the highlight points. And of course, we're going to use my trusty beauty blender just to blend out any edges and to get a really nice flawless finish. For the powder today, we're using the Huda Beauty Powder and Pound Cake. I love this stuff. It makes your skin look super airbrushed and flawless, and I definitely want to create that effect for Sabrina. I also like to do an underbake where this kind of makes your jawline a little bit more snatched as well. I do like to leave it on for like probably 5 minutes and then take it off. And then I also like to go ahead and bronze the skin as well. Pretty much what I'm doing is I'm resetting everything that I've already done. So I'm setting the highlight with the powder, I'm setting the contour with the bronzer. That way it's locked in and your client has this look all day long. Guys, I clearly love his bronzer. This is the Anastasia Saddle Bronzer. I'm obsessed with it. And I'm also using a really cool brush. It's the Sephora Collection number 72 brush. It's almost like a dummy fan brush, and it makes the job really easy. Hugs all the cheeks and just kind of like lifts it at the same time. So try it out. For today's blush, I'm using the Nars Unlawful blush, and I'm using a sweeping motion just to hug the cheek. I didn't want to add too much color because obviously the eyes are really intense. I'm going to go in and refresh the skin with the Morphe Continuous Setting Spray. I drench the skin in this stuff, and it really gives it a nice dewy effect. Was dying to do this part. This is the Artist Couture highlight in Conceited. Look at that highlight, guys. It's so blinding, so beautiful, and it really doesn't do that much justice on camera, guys. In person, you are so shiny, so beautiful and radiant, and I definitely recommend this. We actually layered two colors. We layered Conceited first, which is a little bit more bronzy, and then we added Illuminati to the high points to really make her nice and snatched. Alright guys, so this is pretty much the end of the look. If you guys did enjoy this, make sure you guys please like, comment, and subscribe. Make sure you guys check out the beautiful model, which is SabrinaXMakeup. I'm sure you guys already know her. She's so beautiful and so humble, guys. And for the hair, if you guys are liking it, this is all about hairby.cam, guys. Make sure you guys follow her. I will list everyone's social media down below, and make sure you guys stay tuned for the next video. Thank you. Love you guys. Bye.